Back to normal. Look, I'm not gonna read the article because I don't care. I'm not watching this fight. I'm gonna tell you why I'm not watching this fight. At
Before
the end of the day,
before
I am
before you
tired.
say something, what can you at least read a
Oh,
little bit
okay,
of it
okay.
so
I
we have an idea what it.
of what it is. Okay. So here you have Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. They're gonna be fighting in Saudi Arabia, which is which is not surprising. So let's read the article. Tyson Fury, boxing's lineal heavyweight champion, and Francis Ngannou, the former UFC heavyweight champion, will fight October 28th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The announcement clarified that the fight will take place in a regulation boxing ring under boxing rules, including 3 ringside judges using a 10-point must system. Okay. Oh, wait, let me read this part. What remains unclear is the number of rounds, whether Fury WBC heavyweight title will be on the line, and whether the fight will count towards their professional boxing records. Okay, I'm done reading that. Now, I am tired of and I'm tired of these fights, these clown show fights. Because this is what this is. This is a clown show fight, and let me say this right now. I don't blame Francis in this. He's getting the money that he deserves. He's getting the money that the UFC would not give him. So he's gonna make a shit ton of money, the same way that Conor made all that money when it comes to Floyd. I don't blame him in this. The person who I'm looking at right now is Tyson Fury. You are the lineal heavyweight champion in the world. In my opinion, I think he's the best heavyweight in the world right now. What are you doing fighting a guy who has no boxing experience? People just think because Francis hit hard that he can just go into a boxing ring and fight and just box. It's silly. I'm so sick and tired of these clown show fights. I am. Mm-hmm. Because everyone knows that Francis has no shot in hell in a boxing match against Tyson Fury. He has no chance in hell. Boxing is not just about punching hard. It's not. And if there was anybody who is so elusive, especially for a guy his size, it's Tyson Fury. Now you have to remember, Francis is a big dude, 6'3", 250, 260, probably walks around bigger than that. People don't realize Tyson Fury is like 6'9".
Yeah.
He's a big dude. And for a guy his size, he's very elusive. Very decent, defensive-minded, like, type of fighter.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that way the way he looks. Like you would think he's like out of shape, but my goodness, the guy can move. Very agile for his size.
Absolutely. So why would I think for a second that Francis has a chance? He has no shot. There's no way in hell he's winning this fight. So why are we making the fight? You have Alexander Usyk, who is the other world champion, but yeah, you guys couldn't get a deal done for that fight. You always had the dream fight with Joshua, but you couldn't get that. But we couldn't get that fight. So you're just gonna fight a dude with no boxing experience. So you're gonna get a payday.
Yeah. You said Alexander's the WBO champion.
No, Alexander Usyk. I think he holds the other titles. I think he holds the other 3 titles, but Tyson has 1. I think Usyk has 3.
Oh, okay.
But
I thought Daniel hold the other one. I thought Daniel holds the WBA title.
Daniel who?
Daniel Dubious, I think his name is. I thought he hold the WBA title or the
Let
interim.
me
I think it was.
let me
Does he
look
hold
at let me look
the
at
interim?
um, let me see if I can find it
Yeah,
just to
correct me
make
if
sure.
yeah,
Because
correct me if
with boxing you never know. You never know.
yeah, correct me if I'm
Um,
wrong, because I could have sworn that Alexandra that you mentioned, I think Daniel holds one, and I think Zhang holds the other one. I think,
let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find the.
but
See if I
again,
can
like
find the
it's
card.
just so many belts and so many divisions. Like it's hard to keep up with what's going
Yeah,
on. So
it's hard to keep count. But we know who are the two top heavyweight boxers right now is Fury and Usyk, and we're not
hmm
getting that fight. And I think a lot of it has to do with Tyson Fury.
you think Tyson Fury's afraid of him?
A lot of it has to do with him. But like, bro, you're taking the clown fight. Usyk, he's willing to fight you. He's willing to fight you. Okay. Okay, let me share this. Let me share this, okay?
Yeah,
So when it comes to the heavyweight, Usyk has 3 of the 4 major titles:
I can't see
WBA,
that.
IBF, and WBO. Fury has the you can't. Oh, you're not showing? Oh my
No.
bad. All right. Oh, hold on. I apologize. Hold on. Let me. Yeah, I don't know why it went. I don't know why it went out. Hold on. Let me put this out there. Uh, let me see. Okay. You can see it now.
Not okay. Now I can. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Usyk has the WBA, IBF, and WBO championship. Tyson had the WBC. Okay, so and now knowing how convoluted this is, Daniel Dubis, the guy who you mentioned, he has the lesser WBA regular belt.
What
What
the
the
hell does
fuck does
that
that mean?
mean? What? Are
What
you
the,
kidding me, man?
and here's the thing: the guy I never heard of,
Yeah, that's the
Zali.
one. That's the one that I mentioned. Also, yeah.
Okay, he had the lesser WBO interim belt.
Okay, so
Like,
I made a mistake. That my fault. My fault, everybody. I made a
I
mistake
don't,
because
I
I
don't, I
thought
don't, I don't, I don't blame you because look, this shit's confusing. This shit's confusing. What do you get for having a lesser? What do you get for having a lesser WBA belt? What did that mean?
I have no idea what that means.
And they have regular in quotation marks. You have regular in quotation marks. Like, come on, bro. Like, seriously, it's
Yeah,
silly. But
that.
here's the thing: at the end of the day, we know who the top 2 heavyweights are. It's Usyk and Fury. Why aren't we seeing that fight? For Francis, I totally get it. I totally understand.
But Hoovy. I have to stop you right there though,
Okay.
because you had also mentioned, because we talked about this way before. Now again, like I mentioned before, when it comes to like all these exhibition fights, I know you said maybe that doesn't necessarily count because people are just there to make money. I remember you mentioned that, but you did say that you knew that Conor McGregor would stand no chance against Floyd Mayweather. Like I
Absolutely.
remember
Yeah.
you said that. That's
Hmm.
just for the money. That's just for the money. Also,
Yeah.
that's just
Absolutely.
okay. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Absolutely. If it
Okay,
was for the money,
so
and
okay,
I don't blame Connor for that.
okay, but since it's just for the money, and then when it comes to Francis, that's just for the money. Do you see why I said that boxing is a joke? Now, you believe me when I said that boxing is a
I,
complete joke
I
now.
never, Steve. I never disagree with you. In fact, I said that boxing has been a joke long before this type of stuff is going on. Why? Because of shit like this. Like we have 4 different titles, and trust me, there's more than that. There's definitely more than that. But yet we have a guy who owns a lesser version of a regular belt. I don't know what that means. And this guy has a lesser version of an interim belt. Of a belt that is owned that already has an owner. Like he's
Yeah,
not hurt. Like to my knowledge, he's not hurt or anything.
that I thought he was, because when I found out that we had, other two guys who had titles, I was just on the assumption that he was hurt or he was suspended. I just didn't. I should have just done my due diligence to to do more research of why we have other two champions when it comes to that. So I thought we had a total of four guys, having four titles, to four guys. So I'm just as confused as you are. But once again, it just constantly, all this confusion, all these stupid exhibition fights, all these fights when it comes to like they're all a joke. Now they could all be entertaining, yes, but we all know at the end of the day those fights don't really mean anything, because you're not fighting actual boxers. You're not fighting actual boxers. So the whole thing with Floyd and Conor McGregor, and now this one that's coming up now, are they legitimate fights? Okay, fine. But at the end of the day, they may not be exhibition fights, but they still don't mean anything, because we know that those guys don't box. They don't box. So why are you wasting my time putting this fight when you have Alexander Usyk, who's also a champion? Why aren't you trying to promote that fight? That's the fight that we should. That's the fight that people should go crazy to go and see. That's the fight that people care about. But no, 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 no. You have a guy, and look, having you say you don't blame Francis, but at the end of the day, though, Francis know he doesn't stand a chance. This is just a money grab for him.
I mean, no, athletes are always going to be delusional when it comes to that. Like he's gonna think that he has a chance, and
Really?
yeah, he's absolutely gonna think that. He's absolutely gonna think that. He's always gonna think he has a chance. I don't think he has a chance because I don't think a guy who's a pure boxer is gonna like he'll probably take it easy on him, which is likely gonna happen.
Oh gosh.
But at the end of the day, Francis has no shot. He has no chance. You know, he
Yeah,
has
he
no chance.
doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't have a chance. And look, I'm gonna do more. I have to do some more digging, because I don't understand. I still don't understand what that means. Lesser WBA belt and a lesser, like, an interim belt. From last time I checked, isn't that like a substitution type of belt, to
I,
to to, to a degree, like
interim, yeah, interim is supposed to be the title is a title that you're pretty much it's a pretty much a substitute belt until the guy
yes.
comes in and then you can do the undisputed bout thing. It's pretty much a marketing thing.
Correct. Yeah. So what the hell is a lesser interim belt? What does
I
that mean?
I have no idea, bro.
It's a substitute already. So now you have something that is lesser than the substitute? What is that supposed to mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue. Like I said, I don't blame Francis because Francis is gonna make a lot of money out of this, and this is what this is what he wants. It is what it is. I'm looking squarely at Tyson Fury because he's the guy who who like I wouldn't say he's dodging the Joshua fight, but he's absolutely dodging the Usyk fight. I don't care what anyone says,
Mm-hmm.
and I get it. Like the Francis thing may garner more money, or I don't even think that's true. But I honestly I really don't even know if that's true. At the end of the day, everybody wants to see you fight Usyk to be the undisputed heavyweight champion.
Yes.
That's what we all want. And this pre-show fights are not interesting to me because there's no chance, in my opinion, that Francis has in winning. So it takes all the thrill away from watching the fight. It's part of the reason why I wasn't thrilled about watching Connor and Floyd, even though I probably should have gone with you guys. I knew he had no shot of beating Floyd.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's really all I gotta say.
How much is Francis going to be getting? Do you know?
No, it's not known yet. But listen, it's gonna be in Saudi Arabia, so it's gonna be a lot of money. It's
Okay,
gonna
so
be a
he
lot of money.
okay, so he's going to be getting a lot of money.
Yeah,
Um, okay, so so it looks like you're not really pissed off with both fighters. You made it clear that you're only pissed off with Fury only.
yeah. Cause he's the one, like him and his team, always coming up with excuses as to why they don't want to fight Usyk. The same thing that Floyd Mayweather did when he was fighting when everybody knew they wanted to see him and Pacquiao. That's what we
Yes.
wanted to see for years. When Pacquiao was out dominating and Floyd was out there dominating, we wanted to see that fight, but it was always coming from Floyd why we didn't get that fight. It was always
Yep.
coming from his end.
Yep. Yep.
And when we got the fight, it was Pacquiao already been knocked out severely by Marquez for the in their fourth fight. So like, even though yeah, we all watched it, it wasn't the fight it should have been years earlier.
Yeah, and then I think he did he lose the fight after that also? Did he lose to Timothy?
Bradley, yeah, and
Yeah, yeah,
that fight was a sham also. That fight was a fucking sham also. The one he didn't win the fight,
yeah.
and come to find out, um Timothy Bradley was already promoting the second fight before the first fight. Tell you, man, boxing is a joke. I don't disagree with you. I think that it's been a joke for a lot longer than you think it's been.
Yeah,
But it's a joke.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, and
Yeah.
what irritated me also is that when he had lost that fight to Timothy Bradley, even though I thought that Pacquiao won that fight too, but at the end of the day though, it just made it less exciting, or I just really didn't care. I just had this nonchalant type of attitude when it comes to Floyd and Pacquiao, because you have Pacquiao losing a couple of fights now. So what's the incentive? Like it would have been so much better that you see two guys at the top of their peak, just killing everybody, dominating boxing, and then you have those two go head to head with one another. But then once he got knocked out and losing to Timothy Bradley, it's like, well, I mean, what's the point now? Like, what is the point? So I understand when you said that that boxing was been the joke. So I'll just say that it's even worse of a joke now. It's even worse because it seems like instead of having fights that we all want to see, they're being substituted with with fighters who don't even box. That's what makes it even worse. Like it'll be one thing. Like okay, just for example, I know you wouldn't want to see this either. What's that dude
Mm-hmm.
name? Go back up real quick.
Oh,
Uh,
let me go on. Hold on. Oh, it's wrong, bro. Tell me when to stop.
yeah, keep going. Stop. Okay. Um, like those two guys who's whatever those two two belts mean.
Yeah.
Now,
You just
let's say
saying.
so let's say Fury was going to fight Daniel. So you
Mm-hmm.
just as an example, I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
sure people wouldn't want to see that fight, but that fight would still have make more sense than him fighting Francis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, this makes it even worse because you are fighting somebody who is not a boxer at all. So instead of giving us Fury versus Usyk, you giving us a substitute fight of him fighting Francis? Come on, man! Like, come on, man! I'm not watching the fight. I don't know if you're gonna watch the fight now that you told me about this, but I'm not watching the fight. Are you going to watch?
I don't see myself watching the fight. I gotta be real with you. I don't see it. Cause I'm just over it, man. Like I'm just over it. Cause I just don't. I'm just not interested. Cause there's no intrigue when it comes to it. There has to be some level of intrigue when it comes to a fight like this, right? Because again, we all know that the free show fights are a thing. I know that Jake Paul. I think his next fight is supposed to be against Nate Diaz.
Are you gonna watch that
Um,
one?
I mean, that one has at least a little bit of intrigue because, like I said,
He,
like Nick Diaz, I'm not, was it Nick or Nate? Nate has some boxing experience at least, and I think. But the thing is, I don't know for a fact if there was any type of rule in place in the contract where they would have, like Nate take a dive. I have no idea. I have no clue if there was a thing where they can do all this talking and shit like that, and then in for an extra $2 million, he takes a dive for Jake Paul. I have no clue because I
Okay.
don't trust these types of fights.
Yeah.
But that's why it's more intriguing because when it comes to boxing, they should be at the same level.
Okay,
They
I
should
see,
be
I
at the
see
same
what you're
level.
saying. It's not the same as this one because one has boxing experience, the other one doesn't. I see what you're saying.
Exactly. At least that one has more intrigue. This fight has no intrigue for me. And like I said earlier, and we can move on because I do have to go to work, but I'm kind of like so my stomach been killing me all day. I don't like yeah, so I don't want to get too deep into it, but I do have to go to work. But
Hmm.
I already told her I'm going to be late.
Okay.
But yeah, so we can end it after, obviously we can end this topic. But
I'm done. I'm
there's
done.
no, yeah, I have there's no intrigue to this fight. There really isn't. There really is no intrigue to this fight. So I'm not interested. I can't say for sure if I'm going to watch it or not. Right now is a no. Right now it's a no, but I don't know how I don't know if that's gonna change in I don't know if it's gonna change over time. But
Okay.
as of right now it's a no.
Okay.
So let me read some Joe, I'm not reading your comments, all right? So whatever issues you have, you can talk to me tomorrow, okay? But all right, so Ruben said that I see it, lesser. Bro, you're asking all the same questions that I'm asking. Lesser, how? I'm guessing you're referring to the interim belt. I mean, they already have an interim belt there. They already have technically they have one there. You know what I mean? But you tell me that this guy is a what was it? Let me read that he holds the lesser WBA regular belt. I don't know what that means. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. And he said that this might as well be Fury versus Braun Strowman. Yeah, yeah, he did a wrestling match with Braun Strowman a couple years ago in Saudi Arabia of all places for WWE, and that shit was garbage. But like I say, did it for a paycheck. And
Yeah.
guys are gonna do things like this for a paycheck. So
Yeah.
I can't. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is.